Why don't you just take a moment to take a breath. Close your eyes and just come into your container, into your beautiful vessel that holds your soul so well in this lifetime. And take another breath. And begin to breathe down into your body, into your being, from the top of your head to the bottom of your feet, to your connection with Gaia here. It's probably a sandy bottom. And the connection to the beautiful source of Gaia energy that is around us here. And let that source energy, that Gaia energy, the energy of the water element, let that envelop you in a way that brings with it the healing that is connected to the messages here. Take another breath. And softly let that intention for healing, for opening, for the energy and love of the messages to permeate you, to bring exactly to you what you need right here, right now. And be an open vessel, a receiver of the divine source love, of the element of water and the energy of Gaia that is here. And the healing, the waves of healing and light that accompany the messages of wisdom and honoring and love.
So it is good day to you, huh? Very good to see your energy, your light, your brightness, your radiance, which is reaching over to California and down to Puerto Rico and up to Canada and all across the U.S. Dearest beings of light, we are so honored by your presence. We see that you came here by divine order. Even the people that are listening now, years from now, you came to this recording by divine order. You came to this space by divine order as you are wrapping the planet around with your light. You are wrapping the galaxies around with your light, connecting to the emerald grid, connected to the golden grid, and much beyond. And you are here, activating, learning, expanding within that new human that you are. We know that new human that you are is accompanied by the awareness of what you are doing, how you are presenting yourself, how you are accommodating this energy in this time and this place. So know that your awareness in you is the strength of you. Your awareness in that vibrational frequency is the strength of you. So it is time for you to become more aware. Aware that you are aware, yes? That is the new consciousness. So as you are aware that you are aware, I want you to be aware of one more thing. Add your awareness to your own habits, your own ideas, your own backstory, your own little voice that is telling you that you can't or that you won't or that who do you think you are, blah, blah, blah voice. We call that the blah, blah voice, huh? And every time you have that blah, blah voice, it is a purchase order to the universe. A purchase order to what it is that you are choosing to create. And we don't believe the blah, blah voice is really what you want to create. Is it? Hello? Thought we might have put you to sleep. So understand that it is now about stepping into your presence. It is now about realizing some of those old stories that you have been telling yourself. It is time to let go of. How many times you've had to hurt yourself in such and such an accident or such and such a place, or how many husbands or wives you had to go through before you got the good one, and all those bad ones were not so great and all the new ones are. All those old stories, just stop telling them. Just stop telling them, because every time you tell that painful experience, it is coming back to you. All that emotion, all that energy that we believe you wish to let go of comes back to you. Why? Let us make up a new story, eh? We are magnificent number 8s, manifesting the universe that we are living in. We are expanding the universe as we are expanding ourselves with our own awareness. That is you. You are the illuminated ones who are aware. So it is time to think before you speak. We know that might be a surprise to you. It is time to feel before you speak. Is this feeling that old story that you don't want to expand? Well, that's when you take and shift your consciousness. Change your bracelet. You'll hear about that a bit later. You see, that energy that you are shifting reverberates out around you and wraps the planet as well. So as you are redirecting that little blah blah voice in your head, the planet is also redirecting the blah blah voice to be the heart-centered voice. You understand what we say? So we come to you from that heart-centered voice to your heart-centered voice. We've come all this way just for you. And we thank you that you came all this way just for us, huh? We love you deeply. We see you. We see who you are. We see your heart, your soul, your illuminated one. We even see your blah blah voice. And we wish to help you integrate that so it doesn't blah blah quite so loud. Namaste.
Greetings, dear ones. I'm Kryon of Magnetic Service. It is the tradition to have these short channels at the beginning of the day, where we are now, and to reveal things that in these moments are germane to you. We have said before, we know who you are. I'm going to do something I haven't done before. I am going to explain something, and then I'm going to take something. It's information, and I'm going to take it from Adironda. We come from the same place. You want to know why there are so many differences, and the reason is the human doing the channeling, and the vessel that is here creates the different voice, creates the different information, but we are all coming from the same source of love, of teaching, of beauty. The things we want to show you that perhaps you're not aware of. Adironda has talked about the blah blah voice. We have talked about it. We've called it something else, the noise, the residual. They're the same. Adironda has something else that might be taught, but I'm going to teach it first. Because I know what's in there. I know what's on the other side of the veil. I'm going to talk about the bracelet. All of you here are wearing some kind of bracelet on your arm that got you in to the meeting. Adironda talks about the purchase order. All of you had that in order to get the bracelet, in order to get in here. And here you sit in 3 dimensions, enjoying not only the energy, the information, but of course, the bracelet, because it gets you in here after lunch, perhaps even tomorrow. The metaphor of the bracelet, you're wearing another one. It's the esoteric bracelet that the old soul got when you arrived from birth. Let me tell you, if there was an angel in the room, the day of the birth, out of your mother's womb, it would say this: look, he is wearing the bracelet. And the bracelet, esoteric, gold, glowing, is the one of the old soul who's going to see the shift. The promise of the shift was always there from the ancients. The possibility was always there. There was no sure thing. In fact, it looked like the bracelet wasn't even going to be used because the planet was headed for trouble. The Third World War was almost going to be here. It would have been the last one for all of civilization. And it all crumbled. Almost at the last moment, the prophecies of the ancients began to sparkle and come alive. The bracelet that all the old souls were born with, that the angels could see, starts to glow. And the bracelet says, right place, right time, old soul. To walk through the shift with a purchase order. And the purchase order says this: you are permitted to awaken, to have new information, to learn how to do things you never could do before because of the wisdom that you bring in through the Akashic. Lifetime after lifetime, been there, done that. You're ready now to embrace the shift. And the ones who have said yes, because this is free choice, the ones who have said yes, so many of them listening to this in this room with this esoteric bracelet. Now here's what you don't know. It's so beautiful that those who wear the bracelet who would never be in this room are still affected by this energy, by you. You are a family of awakening old souls. To be in the room, to listen to these messages and more. There are those living with you and not living with you who are wearing these bracelets who have said no a long time ago. I'm not interested. I'm not doing this. And they're going to be pulled right into this energy with you. They're going to be affected. There cannot be any more fence sitting. There will be decisions you don't expect from those you don't expect. And there's more. And sometimes wearing the bracelet means trouble in your perception. Dear Kryon, I've walked through the new energy, I'm wearing the bracelet, and I got sick. What is that about? I thought this was the new energy of health and all that. Let me tell you the truth. You got sick so you would stop. Look around. Be pulled to zero. Start again and know who you are. Did you notice that? There's nothing like it. We call it the Have a Little Fire Scarecrow event. Some of you are old enough to know what that is. It gets you to thinking about life and purpose, beauty, appreciation of what is around you, what works and what doesn't, healing that you can do yourself, coming back more robust than you were before with a new idea of who you are. Old soul, that bracelet was a purchase order you made on the other side of the veil that said, I'm coming in with it different. I'm going to be here during the shift. And you are. And the teaching then begins. What does the bracelet mean? What is it about? What have you agreed to do? Free choice means you don't have to. But those who have said yes, you start on a journey that takes you places you didn't expect, and some of those places are grand beyond belief. Learning all the way. With joy, benevolence, expectation. That is the purpose of the bracelet. You are here by design. And all of the things that are blah, blah, blah are the things you carried over. The bracelet allows you to drop them. You've got permission and you're wearing it on your arm. And which arm you're wearing it, you decide. Because right and left means different things for different people. If you want to know the truth, the bracelet is all around you. It is actually an activation of a different kind of energy within the Merkaba of your DNA. It's the field you carry around you. And those who can see the field know you're wearing the bracelet. A beautiful, beautiful permission of the old soul to finally awaken out of the cocoon that you've been in all of those lifetimes where there was no bracelet. You're special, beautiful, benevolent, magnificent human beings. This is the teaching, and all of that surrounds it is how you can recognize it, see it, claim it, be it. These are the things we do. The woman sitting beside me is a very interesting soul. You might say it's a soul with a contract. We talk about contracts being written in invisible ink. You can change them at any time you wish. But she'll tell you a story about a change so profound that there was no question of what she was supposed to do. My partner who sits before you had a similar event, not as profound as the woman, but still an event where he had to make a choice. But dear ones, both of us, the choice was obvious. The choice was there in front of us. Do you want to walk into the light, or do you want to have an anchor around your foot? Because we recognized all that had come in our lives before was an anchor. And we were about to expand and fly. Every single one with the bracelet has the same choice. Think on that for a moment. That is the truth. It's metaphoric, of course. But it is the truth for everyone in here. How would you like to have control? Control over your aging, of your health. Discoveries that would be made for you on how to do things you could never do before. In these days, you're listening to many people, not just the ones on the stage, but the ones next to you, around you, who have discoveries for you, things that you didn't know. Friends, perhaps you will meet. Be alert in what you might find out that you didn't expect in this day and the next. For those listening, it's the same. When you walk out of your home, is it just to do another errand or just to go to work again? Or is there the potential anything could happen today that might change the rest of my life in such a positive way? I am open to it. If somebody comes up and says, well, would you like to go over here today or tomorrow or the weekend? Normally you'd say, well, no, I have things to do, I'm busy, And I want you to stop and think for a moment. Is that an invitation that might change everything? It's not random, dear ones. These are invitations that come to you constantly to take you out of that blah blah and into something you don't expect, designed because you have the bracelet. Free choice comes at you from different places, different ways. Many of you already know what I mean because you sit in the chair today. It's enough for now. When I come back, I want to do something that I have not done before. I'm going to talk about a history of an energy, the development of something on this planet, a show and tell of how it became what it is, what you're returning to, and how beautiful it is. You'll see. And so it is.
Another breath. And begin to soften your breath and your connection with your breath. Letting that life force, the way that you stay alive on the planet, letting that in, nourishing you, head to toe, inside and out. Letting that breath, as it comes down into your lungs, let it surround your heart. And let the teachings of today and the wisdom of the channels and the love in the room from the entourage of Kryon and the beloveds on the other side of the veil who are always with us, who support us and watch us, who uplift us with their light. Let that light merge and meld with your light. Let that wisdom merge and meld with your own wisdom. And allow yourself to be honored by those who are unseen that are here, that honor you and love you and bring you the message.
Greetings, dear ones. I'm Kryon of Magnetic Service. It has been mentioned that there are those who are unseen that know who you are, who are here. And I mean here. If you're a visitor listening to this later, here means here for you as well. This is a sacred space that you have decided to listen to. And if you continue listening, all of the energies that are in this room at the moment are yours as well. Humans, everyone, respected, honored, everyone. There is an entourage that doesn't just accompany me. It's an entourage that is developed from the various soul energies in the room. An entourage that comes to watch, honor, sometimes seemingly sit in your lap, knock on your nose, just to say, we're here, we're here, we're here. Years ago I said it, you're never alone. We mean this. It's impossible. Because of the system that is spiritual, the system, if you wish, of God. You come to a place and you finally understand and realize, number one, you're part of the system. Number two, you're here temporarily. This soul journeying that you do, you're here temporarily until the next journey in the next life, same soul. And so, dear ones, we're looking at ancients among you. And there is so much honor that you made it, that you've come, that you're here. We wish to extend the teaching from last week. Now, if you had no idea what that was, it's fine. We always start as though you don't, so that we can be complete. With those who would listen to one message, you wouldn't have to then listen to others. Last week, we introduced you to the concept of clearing that which we call your Akash. Now let me define Akash yet again. And in order to do this, we always will do this. We posture this with great honor and respect for what it means. Inside you, human being, right now, there is an active record of everything you've ever done on this planet. Everything. It lands eventually in your DNA. As you reincarnate, the last lifetime is then included, and you come in with that, fresh. Everything that you have ever experienced is there. And as we've taught before, it's not a linear representation as you would get in a book. The Akashic record is not about the activities of a human. It's about the energies. What was it like for you? Short lifetimes, long ones, various places of the planet, different cultures, different faces, different languages, different food. What was it like to be in the wars, to be a warrior and kill others, to be on the battlefield and be killed? All of you were. All of you. What's it like to be drowned? So many of you were. What's it like to lose children? And you would say that must be awful. It is. It still is. But when you come into a planet where every other child lives, you don't even name them till they're 3 months old. What's it like? What's it like to wake up and realize that you have information as an old soul that goes against that which is taught about God? Do you shut up or do you not? What's it like to be ostracized away from anyone else in the village, to live alone and only be kept alive because you have the magic, they think, because you have the intuition to keep them alive, perhaps some potions, some information from Gaia and the earth to heal those around you. This is your life. This is who I talk to, old soul. What's it like for me to tell you there are civilizations you lived in you have no idea about? And yet your Akash carries them all. And the information that is in this multidimensional space of storage within every single human listening now, that information is profound with energy. What kind of energy is it? Well, it's remembered things. We've talked about this before. We've said the difference between the Akashic Records reaction and what it means 10 years ago and today is vastly different. That's what's changing. In an older energy, the Akashic Record comes up and it then gives you information of remembrance, and sometimes it's difficult. Why would that be? Kryon, why is the Akash so disturbing to some that we have to have readers help us to dismiss certain things in our memory? Keeps us awake at night. It's difficult to work with. Why would that be? What kind of a system does that? And here's the answer. It's a system of free choice. As goes the consciousness of the human being, goes the consciousness of remembrance of the Akash. You remember dramatic things. Things that go bump in the night. Things that you don't want to remember. Feelings you can't explain. That's been the way of it. Until now. Last week we gave you information and exercise, words if you wish, and reminded you of the power you have over your own body, and in this energy, the appropriateness of reframing the Akash. Demanding, in your own words, That the Akash stop remembering the negativity and the drama and start remembering the beauty. Remembering the good times. What it felt like for all of you as a woman to give birth. What it felt like for all of you as a man to watch it. The pride, the joy, the overwhelming beauty, the benevolence. It's there. It's all there. To command your Akash to stop with the old energy programs, the tapes that play, and instead give you something you didn't expect. Beautiful memories. It changes that residual buzzing in the background. We told you that. Now, where does it go from here? It may seem like we're going to skip around, but I'm going to tell you what has happened to the Akash, what it became. Now, the Akash has never changed, but human beings saw it and rewrote the rules. I'll tell you about that. So you have a bit of an understanding about the buzz that some of you have. But not before an update. There are those listening to this now who were there last week. There are those who not only participated in the exercise, but will listen to the channel and participate again. Those who have never heard of it will hear it the first time and participate. There will be thousands who will participate. There will be some who feel something, as I said. There will be some who don't. Because timing is everything. You are unique on this planet. There is never a time when we give you information of one esoteric pill does one thing for everybody. It doesn't. It doesn't. Some of you must work at it and work into it, must do it a number of times if you wish, although I'll tell you, the body hears it the first time. Oh, it hears it. Hears it and starts working on it, even though you don't think it does. Here's an update. There are some of you, not necessarily in this audience, but the ones hearing me now, who've had some interesting dreams all of a sudden. A dream that would put you back into circumstances that were uncomfortable. Circumstances that made you less than. Putting you back into a time when there was betrayal. Putting you back into uncomfortable work situations or things that happened. And you're put back in the dream, and there they are happening again. And you wake up in the morning and you'll say, this isn't really what I had hoped for. And now I have what they call a bad taste in my mouth for the whole day because that dream was so real. I didn't need to go back and feel that all again. Oh, yes, you did. And here's why, because that was your closure. You had to go back. You had to look it in the face. Sometimes there are things you never wanted to look at. Some of you are not done yet. This is the Akashic record at its best. It's the Akashic record for this lifetime at its best. Things that have happened to you that you go back and revisit. In the Akash, a drowning, a death, or a time perhaps on the battlefield where you took a life and it stuck with you for ages, and suddenly here comes the dream and you just feel awful. You'll say, I just killed somebody and I feel it all over. It's the worst thing that ever happened to me. I couldn't do that, but I did it. I could feel it. Or I was just killed. Or I drowned. Whatever it was. Then you'll wonder, what is the appropriateness of that? I'll tell you, it's a closure. It means it's gone. That's what it means. And if you're one who had one of those dreams, congratulations. It's working. Do you see how this works? It's working. You have to go there because you didn't want to face it. Even in a dream. You have to go there and be uncomfortable for a moment in a dream. Doesn't hurt you. But for those moments, the Akash is working with you to say, in order to dismiss this, you got to look at it. And you are, many of you. And in the looking at it, there is full and complete clearing. It's not coming back. Not coming back. This is the power you have today, and we talked about it last week. I want to talk about the Akash. It's beautiful. What a system. It's a system of remembrance. Can you imagine opening an Akashic book with one page? One page is everything you've ever done. Because it's multidimensional, the one page is thousands of volumes of energy that are multidimensional. They come flying out. They go all over the walls and the ceiling. They're not in order. They don't have to be. And you look at the ones that are different colors because they have different energies. Can you imagine going back and seeing who you were, what you've accomplished? Do you think that there's a measurement in the Akashic record, not of horror, but of beauty? Do you think there's a measurement of wisdom? How much did you learn? And how would you like to have that presented to you today so that you can walk from place to place and not make the same mistakes? So you can know when someone's telling you the truth, when you can feel when you get up in the morning a benevolence that says, this is a good day. It's a good day because I'm here. It's a good day because the sacredness in me sees the sacredness in Gaia. It's a good day because I know my ancestors. It's a good day because those who interface with me today will also feel it. And it may be as simple as you and your children. They'll feel it. You and somebody at work, they'll feel it. This is the difference between human beings who are always affected by the noise, the buzz, that in the Akash, which is always there, that has always kept you away from the magnificence that you deserve. And we dealt with it last week. I'll tell you what happened in history. The Akashic record has been with you since the seeding of the Pleiadians. When you started receiving the sacred information from the very, very top, either original or you got it from an ancestor, and you started to awaken with spiritual knowledge. The old souls of this planet have always had it. You are the ones that hold this information. It's beautiful, and it's simple. You came from the stars. You came from that which is God. You're seen by God as beautiful. And the God that you were introduced to, the Spirit, if you wish, the creative source, if you wish, was so far above any consciousness that you have ever seen on this planet that you can't describe it. Pure love. Pure love. Shining brighter than anything you can ever imagine. All it is pure love and compassion. So beautiful that when you return to the other side of the veil, you're part of it. You wash in the beauty of the song that plays that makes your heart sing with it. That's God. I can't even give you anything bigger. You wouldn't see it. You wouldn't understand it. That's God. Human beings began to evolve. Systems started. One of the first systems in this civilization you call Hinduism. We have spoken of this even in India, where we, for the first time, revealed things. This was the original system approach, later becoming that with Buddha. But it featured something. The Hindu system was profitless, right to the source. You didn't go through anyone. Nobody had to do anything. There was an acknowledgement of oneness with everything. There still is today. But the Akashic record developed into something different. Enter karma. Karma is a direct derivative of the Akashic energy. Things that happen to you that then lay energy in certain ways that invite you to clear them. And the system would invite you to clean up that which you didn't want and work with other entities of Hinduism that would help you clear negativity to the point where you did not have the karma anymore. You could clear it. You could go to a place where you were in full enlightenment because you did not have any more karma. Now, dear ones, do you find that interesting that that's exactly what we did last week? It was a system of clearing the Akash. It is there yet today. When I arrived 29 years ago, one of the first things I taught you is that karma worked then, it's no longer needed. You don't have to remember any of these things. It's automatic. Karmic clearing is automatic. Akashic clearing. We told you, you don't need to be pushed around by any energies. At this point in your life, in the spiritual system, karma is no longer needed. That's controversial. But look at who you are today. You're coming in with full knowledge. You don't need things to push and pull you around to learn lessons. You're beyond that. And you come in clean, ready to go to work with that bracelet on we talked about this morning. You've got other things to do besides work with karma. Even this day, there are those who say, what do I do about the karma? Even after I've said, you don't have it. You don't have to worry about it. There are those who will argue. I want you just to look at yourself, say, do I need it? Really? At this point in my spirituality as an old soul in this new energy, does it hurt me or help me? Does it hinder my path? Does it enhance me? You make up your own mind. Don't you find it interesting that it was converted into a system that then became karmic? Now, what happens next is really, really interesting. Because now certain systems, over thousands of years, begin to morph the whole idea. I want to introduce you to the human concept of sin. Now you have something where you start humanizing the system. Humanizing is the word we mean that you reduce all of the parts of the system to fit within what you are, to be that which is human nature. As long ago as you wish, as the Greeks, before sin, they made their gods dysfunctional in order for the mythology of punishment to start. That then graduates and graduates, and finally you have a God who looks at you and judges you for your behavior. Sin is supposed to be defined as anything that displeases God. And I have something to tell you that you may or may not grasp at this point. God is not a human. There is nothing like displeasing, pleasing with the creative source of the universe. It's pure love. It doesn't think like you do. It doesn't have the constructs like you do. There is not even the beginning of a consciousness that would even be close to what you have. Not even close. And yet, you have developed a system, a beautiful love of God, and at the same time, you've made God a bad father. Let me ask you yet again, would any of you take a child, no matter what they've done, and throw them into a place where they're going to be burned alive for eternity? Which one of you parents will raise your hand and say, well, yeah, they've done some bad stuff, that's what they deserve? And there's not one of you. There's not one of you. And yet you place that on the creative source. Yep, that sure is the way God works, you say. No, it isn't. The entire construct of sin and punishment developed completely and totally from the human mind. A human being's construct put upon the Almighty, creator of the universe. Does not work that way. There were no wars in heaven. And all of this literally coming from the Akashic record. Because the Akashic record has certain energies that when you morph these systems will create guilt. Now you are sorry for what you did that you feel in your Akashic record. It's getting worse, isn't it? Now you sit there and you don't know what to think. If God is real, is God displeased with who I am? I had a dream the other night. I'm not sure what it means, but I'm quite sure I did something wrong. That's why I had the dream. I'm afraid. I'm afraid I'm not doing this or that right or wrong. Never understanding at that moment in time. This is a derivative of that which is your Akashic record. The energies of your record literally were then converted into karma, then converted into sin and punishment. All these same reactions and feelings then getting lower and lower in a consciousness state to bring you to your knees, human being, where you're afraid of God. Afraid. There's an oxymoron here. It doesn't even make sense that you would bring yourself to a place where you would fear that which was inside you, which is the most benevolent, gorgeous, loving thing that ever could be there. Talked into it, trained into it. This may offend some. That is not the purpose. The purpose is to reveal and enlighten, to open the box, to unseal a grander truth, that there is no judgment with a God that created you out of love. Where is it going next? What's going to happen? Revelation on the planet? Compassion is coming? Reframing and rewriting some of these things that I've just told you. That's what's going to happen. I know this because I've seen it before. I bring you this history to show you where this has come from, what has become it. These wonderful secrets that you had, literally, as a Lemurian, some of you, from the original teaching wheel, had to go underground, not be taught, only be kept. Secret societies you think today are conspiracies. They're only ones who have kept the secrets of what you learned in Lemuria. And in this new energy, they're starting to pop out. You're going to see organizations start to reveal what they know, and they're going to be Metaphysics 101. You're going to start creating organizations yourself to teach these things openly, not in secret. And I remind you, it's one of the first times you've been able to do this without something coming after you or being shut down or worse. There are some who are still afraid to come out of the closet. Closet light workers. They don't want to come out of the closet because the last time they did it was awful. And now it won't be. Now I'm going to give you another concept just to make it really confusing. If you're going to become a bit more multidimensional, dear ones, you're going to now have to deal with a different kind of attribute in your Akash. Stand by. So let me reveal, again, the summary, that in this new energy, as bad it has become, the systems that gave you these things will start to be more enlightened in their approach. They will start to see that it's not commensurate with the love they teach. There will be a lightening of the load. Rules will change slightly, as they have over the eons and decades. It'll start happening again. There will be a return to one of the original ideas that God is inside of every single human. And the respect of that will be seen as primary, no matter who they are or what they believe. That's what they'll have in common. This starts a world that will pull itself out of where they are and have no more war. That's the summary. Now let me tell you something you need to deal with. There is the idea, this train of time you're on is going to create a train which is completely then enlightened, beautiful, clean, clear, ready to move forward in the light with brand new information. Now here, I'm going to tell you something, because there will be those who will ask this later when that doesn't happen for them. This is accelerated, advanced information about your Akashic record that you will have to deal with in the ways that you will have presented to you, and also we will talk about in the future. Time is in a circle. Always has been. Time is in a circle. Imagine a railroad track. You are on that track as a train, as a human being, a human train, and you are chugging along on that train. You can go as fast as you, or slow as you want, but the train doesn't back up. It always goes into the future. That track is always ahead of you, and what's behind you is what you've done. Now that's how you see it. Now I want you to add a little wrinkle to that. That track goes all around the planet. Forget for a moment that you can't put a track on the ocean. Just pretend. And then that means that eventually your future becomes your past. Are you with me so far? Because you're going to start running over the same track in front of you that is your past. And what is it exactly in your past? It's etched in stone in your Akashic record. And whether it includes one civilization or two, it doesn't matter. The concept is this: you're going to meet your Akash in the future. Some of you won't understand what it is and consider that everything you've done has failed, because here it is again. Others of you will recognize that, aha, this is a fractal in time. It is laying on the track because the track remembers what happened. And instead of me absorbing it and taking it on and having to do all this again, we're going to clear it as we go. We're going to expect it to be there. And we're going to see it, and we're going to clear it before it ever shows up. Is this too complex? Has my partner explained it as I've given it to him? These are the questions that only the future will answer. I've just given you something that's valuable so you won't think you failed, dear ones. Because those of you who have cleared and gone to this place where you say, my Akash is no longer there to irritate me and the benevolence is only there, and suddenly there's something negative. This is the 3D human in the past who will say, see, it didn't work. Then you reveal you didn't expect it to work. And then you reveal, and then you reveal. State of mind, how much you cognize these ideas. I'm telling you that there are things on the track in front of you for you and the planet and all these things that will appear, and you will think it's a return to the past, and it isn't. It's something that you're going to have to look at and say, I recognize this. This is old energy. Get away from me. You're not going to go through this again. Give it a name. Put it away. That's coming because you are now covering the same track again that laid those eggs of the Akash that you cleared. Will there come a time, Kryon, when we can clear all of the Akash, including what's on the front of the train? That's an Akashic clearing that would be past, present, and future. That is more complicated. And that's the next step. I'm telling you about this so you won't be surprised. There will be coming processes to help you. But as you understand it, when it comes at you, you won't be confused. You won't think you did something wrong. You won't go back into guilt. And you'll look at it and go, Kryon said it was here. And here it is. And you can laugh. because it'll disappear as soon as you recognize what it is. It's a past karma that's in front of your train that you cleared. Therefore, it's a phantom. We'll even give it a name. Beware of phantom karma. Beware of phantom Akash. All of that from your past might show up. Just remember this time and call it what it is. This is a complex channel. It's something that you may want to listen to. It's something that you may want to revisit, just to hear these words. I'm about ready to close. Those invisible ones are still here. I want you to feel them for just a moment, and such congratulations to you. If they could put their arms around you, you could feel it. You'd feel so much love. You did it. And they would give you a message and say, don't fear the future. They'd give you a message that say, cast the old fears away. They're not going to come back. It's a brand new path, one that you've never trod before, one without predictions. You're going to lay the track that's never been laid before. That's what it's like. These are the things I have for this day. These are the things for you. And so it is.
Okay, and we're going to go right into the channel. From that place of gratitude and appreciation, caring and compassion, that deep place of heart resonance, that place where you know who you are, where you know the song of your soul. Where you can find the infinite in every cell of your being. The infinite divine you. So breathe into that and just let that now fill you up. Your own limitless divinity right here, right now. In your physical vehicle, in your spiritual vehicle, who you are here in the room and what you take with you when you go. That love, that gratitude, appreciation, that deep place of compassion for your journey. You get to be here. You get to do this. And we all do this together.
So it is good day to you, huh? Very good to see your energy, your light, your brightness, your radiance coming through to this focus. For those of you who were not here yesterday, we are at Rhonda. And we bring with us an entire council of light that is a reflection of your light. We did want our vessel Marilyn. We asked her, our vessel Marilyn, to select a card from the Manifesto Mastery cards of Monica, Maronia, and Kryon. And it was very appropriate, even though she argued just a bit with us about reading things without her glasses and things like that. You know, those human things. We want you to breathe this in, for it is perfectly appropriate for this time. This is for you. Old soul wisdom. I am an old soul. I have vast experience, deep knowledge, and spiritual wisdom. I am the hope of the planet, and my magnificence is known by God. Take a deep breath. I am the hope of this planet, and my magnificence is known by God. You see, dearest beings of light, you have been operating in the Akashic. Dearest Kryon spoke of it yesterday. Now you are picking up that essence that is your strongest quality, your best asset, your talent, your skill. For you are the next evolutionary step of humanity. You are the way showers, you are the light bearers, you are the bringers of joy. So that may still be within you, that might not be quite so joyful. It is time to remind yourself that that is only the contrast that helps you remember the joy that you are. As you know, it is your birthright. So if you have that old sadness, that old energy, that old stuff, it is time to integrate that so completely that all you have left is your wisdom, your joy, your laughter, and the understanding that when the contrast happens, and it will, someone's going to come up and just push your contrast button. And when it does, that you say, oh, I love you so much for letting me know that I still have another contrast button to work with. You see, that is all it is. It's a part of your evolution. It is a part of the reminder that even though, yes, you are God, acting in the personality of who you are, and God is a part of you, and God is all around you, or Source is all around you, that there's still a little tweaking that still gets to be done because you've got your body here. When you don't have your body, then you're one of the masters yourself. Well, you're one of the masters now, you just have a body slowing you down, huh? Understand, we came all this way to reflect that to you. We came all this way to help you understand more of who you are. Such a being of light, such an energy of love, that your essence is the expanded light of this galaxy. And you may think, well, how can my essence be expanded light and be affecting this whole galaxy? Well, when your light bumps into some other light, that makes 2 lights. And then when that light bumps into another light, that makes 4 lights. And when those lights bump into another light, that makes 8. And you do the math. It doesn't take long before it is an illuminated galaxy. Dearest beings, you see who you have been. You see the wisdom that you gained from that experience as you bring in that coherence into your heart. That energy, that coherence, you can bring forth always. You can accommodate that by being who you were meant to be and not arguing so much about it. And thinking, oh, I can't do that. What will people think? Who do I think I am? You are who you think you are. You are who you feel you are. And it is time to stand up and claim that. It is time to maybe sit down and claim that. Whatever works, works. For you see, that is your essence, that you came all this way through the Pleiadian gateway to get here, seated by the Pleiadians all this way for this time, for this shift. And we are so grateful for you. We are so honored by you. We know for some it has not been an easy journey to get here. So now you can celebrate because you've done that already, the hard part. It can get easier, yes? Remember who you are, dearest ones. Remember the illumination that radiates from your heart center, no matter what else happens. It is still there. Be that old soul wisdom. Please, we implore you to pick up the torch, pick up the light, and show the way. We love you deeply. We honor you. And we bid you namaste. Namaste.
Greetings, dear ones. I'm Kryon of Magnetic Service. We continue. The messages from the other side of the veil, they don't change because the channelers change. The message is the message. You could have a number of channelers in the chair passing. Between them, message to message to message. And if they're really tuned in, it's the same message. One complements the other. And the message of the evening, right now, is a plea for self-awareness. It's a plea to drop that which is the human part of you, just for a moment. Today you were taught about coherence. You got to see the example and hear the testimonies of those who discovered that if they can bring coherence to their life even for a moment or two, imagining compassion, imagining love, the chemistry of the body starts to cooperate with them to the degree that it continues to generate it. For hours and hours, it continues to generate it. We're going to talk about spiritual chemistry, and there is both esoteric consciousness and body involved in something that, yes, even the pineal gland is part of. It creates a comfort in you knowing absolutely that you're loved. And yet you so seldom get there. That so much information is always going on in your mind that the whole idea of creating coherence starts to become viable, necessary, needed, so that you can stop the tapes, as we say, and start creating not a void, not a vacuum, but a clearing where you can stop everything and feel that which is your essence. And the essence that you have, every single one of you listening, everyone in the room, the real essence that you have is what you came in with. Dear ones, your chemistry and all that is esoteric in your body, your consciousness, and all, designed on the other side of the veil to feel the presence of love. To know that this is temporary. To remember at some level what home is. And to create this as much as you can for yourselves. And in doing so, it creates it for others. And in doing so, the others create it for others. This is the prime directive, if you want to use the word, to find God inside. But there are so many who will say, I feel disconnected no matter what. It's really tough to stop the tapes. It's tough to even stop. Some have decided, well, you're going to do this through meditation. All well, all good, all beautiful. But then the meditation stops. There comes a time that it stops. And then you think to yourself, well, all I have done was to create spaces where I can be in touch with who I am, the other side of the veil. And that's really not what I want. I can't be in meditation 24/7. What is it that's going to allow me to not only feel this touch of the face of God in my life, but what is it that I could do that I could feel it all the time, no matter what? I can feel it while I'm cooking, while I'm cleaning, while I'm driving, while I'm at work, at the computer perhaps. Is this viable? Is it possible? Or does it have to be segmented into times when I'm aware and times when I'm not? What does that say about me? And yet, so many of you old souls are starting to ask that question. Because you're starting to understand and realize there's something there. For those of you in the meeting, in the room, there's something here. And it's not a man in the chair talking. There's an enormous energy, a coherence of God, if you wish, that presses upon you right now. Some of you can feel it. And in this, what is the prime directive from the other side of the veil? Why don't you get the prime directives together? I'll tell you what they are. Love, compassion, unconditional compassion. Have you ever thought there might be a time in a meeting like this where you could do something, create a space where whatever you did would last a lifetime? Create some kind of coherence that's so powerful that it sticks with you. It sticks with you so much, that's all you want. Because it feels so good. And then you realize you can create it by yourself. And then you realize self-realization. I'm a factory for spirit. Well, if you've wondered that, is it possible? Why don't we try it? And in this, a group of old souls of like mind, singular purpose and design, who understand the principles, in this we can help one another. When I say we, I'm speaking for my partner, who is also one of you in the chair. Here's the idea. You're going to open yourself up so much that the veil for a moment or two would open to whatever degree is appropriate for you and your life, and you would feel For the first time, perhaps, unconditional centering, unconditional love. As though you were an infant, helpless, in a space you hadn't been before. Helpless in a way that was good. Because there isn't anything you could do, no matter what flailing, that could change anything you were. And in that helplessness, you would feel the love of perhaps the greatest mother, father, the greatest parenting, the greatest compassion and love, all the relatives standing around looking at you saying, "This is magnificent. This is the definition of compassion." And it would be all around you. This is not being self-centered. This is self-realization that you are known by God. And the metaphor of being known by God is so powerful. Not just known, cared about, loved. What gets in the way of you and this feeling is all of the training you've had that you can't go there. Or the training that you've had that says that God is real and loves you, but you can't go there. Not allowed. Or that perhaps you're not magnificent. Or perhaps you're one who is not worthy of the glory of the Creator. So why don't we just change that? For a moment, just for a moment. Are you able to drop the tapes, ignore the sounds around you, and create a timelessness for a moment that would let you feel everything that is yours from the other side of the veil? Stop the clock. Nothing is important. Just for a minute. Nothing is more important than the connection that you are built to have, that this shift is starting to move toward. Fast track this connection by this moment. We're going to turn it into a little meditation just right now, just for a moment. And if you're ready, let it begin right now. I would like to tell you something. You are known. Every hair on your head or anywhere. You have hair everywhere. You have hair. Known by God, counted by God. Every chemical, everything in your body. Known by God. Shaking hands with that which is the Creator, whether you know it in your consciousness or not. That is how important you are. This creative source that you are looking at right now, face to face, eyeball to eyeball, is able to be with each one of you 24/7 in such a beautiful, personal, multidimensional way. There's no sharing where you have to have one human at a time. It's all together. All the hearts, all the compassion of the entire galaxy, the universe, right now, pouring through the veil to tell you one thing, that is, we know you. Your soul glows on this planet so much that we surround you with our love. You can never be alone. You have an entourage of your own that can take your hand at any moment, whether you know it or not, whether you let them or not. They're always ready, always ready, always ready. The compassion of the Creator is in your lap. Let it shine with you. Drop the pretenses, drop the blah blah, drop all the things that keep you from shaking this hand that has always been outstretched to you, because you are loved. You cannot conceive it. It is so beautiful, so precious, so bright, so pure, so pure. The consciousness of God is nothing like a human being. It is spectacular in its purity and its silence. This is who you are. Just for a moment. This is the real you. You're part of all of it. All of it. You're your own prophet. You're your own ancestor. So great is this. Come back slowly from this knowledge, this experience. And some of you will never be the same. Because it's a revelation. Nobody told you. It's a revelation that you can dig into the purity. And it becomes you. You've heard the expression, be still my heart, so many times. Be still my soul, so many times. This is the expression that so many on this planet use. That would say, in the stillness of all things in your body, there is a revelation of God. Dear ones, you have the Creator inside you. It's built in. What we just did was not something that is unusual for you to get to a place where the Creator can touch you, because the Creator is inside you. What you've just done was to clear the fence so that you could touch each other. It's built in. You can do this as many times as you want to. It's an effort for some and easy for others, but it's a measure of the coherence you have with the creative source. The more you increase this coherence, the more this planet becomes lighter in so many ways. The end result, dear ones, is not peace on earth, because peace on earth will come with this light and coherence automatically. The goal for the planet is what you do after you have peace on earth. For that's when all of the inventions can be brought to you, when stillness is something that you could have simply by going there. When the buttons are gone that would be pressed in you, that would create fear and anger, distress and drama. This is not a fantasy. Some have felt the reality of this. There are still cultures on this planet who are embedded in this so grandly that they can control even their heart rate. They know who they are. Dear ones, I close with this. Known by God, not just 3 words. This is actionable. That is a word that means it's real. You can act on it. It is something that exists. It's not that which is so esoteric, it's only in this room. It is something you carry from this place, and you live it. You live it. And in that, you can raise your hand to the sky if you wish and say, thank you, thank you, thank you, that I just had the greatest revelation of who I am. For I, you might say, am a part of the creative source of all things. And you'd be right. You'd be right. That is the beauty of the soul that all of you have, that is forever, that always exists, even after the body quits. You are you, part of that which is everything. That is the beauty of the message that we bring and will continue to bring. And so it is.